Welcome to episode 57 of PuckPod Diabetes Sports. I am back after my 2 week hiatus. We start things out the same way every time. Dave, how was your week?
Long. It's like gonna be a long week, We got Christmas coming up at the end of this week. Just trying to like prepare for that basically right now.
Christian, how about you?
Yeah, rinse and repeat, same thing. I'll be honest, like I've been working the past couple days, and for whatever reason, it hasn't been busy at my work. I don't know why, but we'll take it. I'm sure it'll pick up this weekend when I'm back in, and tonight when I'm back in. So yeah, other than work, nothing really has changed since me and Dave spoke last. But Brian, you're the one that's got to catch us up, man.
Yeah,
For
I
real.
finished my first semester of law school exams. Yeah, don't go to law school unless you want to be a lawyer. It's really tough. I finished
I mean, why
exams.
else would you go to law school?
I'm just picking up a law degree,
Just for
guys.
fun?
Just on the
You'd,
Yeah,
you'd be
yeah.
side.
surprised. Like, law school's
People
a thing
just
that like people go to if they don't know what they want to do
it's
in
probably
real life
really
and they have
nice
good
on the
grades.
resume. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it
Like,
is.
I went to I went to
It's like,
law
I
school.
could be a lawyer, but I'm here applying for, I don't know. I'm
There's
here. I want
a
to be a part-time retail worker.
to be a law school library worker, you need a law degree.
God damn.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just to work in the library. It's kind of crazy, but
Wow.
Do they what type of benefits do you get from working in a law
not the
school
same salary as a
library?
lawyer, I'll tell you that.
Hey,
Wow.
but it's a law school library, right? This
There
ain't
you
no
go.
regular librarian.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I went out that night of it was like with the student cohort. It was pretty crazy. And then I saw Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes, which is a 10 out of 10 movie the day after before I flew out home, and you can tell I'm home. Yeah, but
Okay.
watch Ballad. That's a
It's a good
that was a
movie.
good movie. Like,
Yeah,
it
I'll
might
be
have been
And
the
on that.
movie of the year.
your flight
I'll be on
also
that.
got delayed. Typical
Yeah,
typical
well,
things to happen in like our neck of the woods. There always seems to be delays like anytime you go to the
especially around this time of
airport.
the year.
Oh
Yeah, if you're
yeah.
flying, you're not Christian. When you fly, expect it to be delayed.
Yeah, it's baked in, right? It's okay. Lots of podcasts will hold me over, and that's the plan. Brian, are you a podcast guy on a plane, or are you like a movie guy, a sleep guy? What's your plane regiment, man?
I'm a movie guy unless I'm sleeping.
Can
Okay,
you sleep on a
okay.
plane?
Yes.
It's
Dude, I
tough.
can't.
It's tough. Yeah.
I
Two
went
years
I
ago when I went to Italy, it's like a
yeah.
10-hour flight. I tried the
Oh,
entire flight to sleep. Maybe got
no.
half an hour in there. Maybe half an
Unless
hour.
unless you're taking like a pill or something to help you sleep. Like I bought a neck pillow just so I was
Yeah,
like,
me
okay,
too.
maybe this
40
will help
bucks
me
later, man.
sleep. Maybe
Yeah.
this will help me sleep. No, I watched all three Rush Hours on the way to like Vegas and back, basically.
I no, I think I've mastered it. Like, I can do it pretty comfortably. I've flown out so much in the past little bit, just flying back and forth from home and here. I figured it
True.
out.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing
But
a
I
lot of that too. So
for a while, yeah.
yeah.
But no, I one more thing. I just wanted to say one last time. Watch the new Hunger Games movie. That is the movie of the
We're
year.
not sponsored by them either. This is
No,
like
no, no.
right from Brian's heart. He's like,
Like, I'm
go
telling you,
watch
it,
it.
Dude,
it was that good. That's the first time I walked in a movie theater, and I'm like, wow, like they actually killed it. And
up
I
until right now, when you said it's Hunger Games, I had no idea what movie you were talking about, bro. What did you
oh,
say? What did you say the actual title is called? Hunger Games
the
what?
it's called the Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes.
Okay, okay.
And like, you'll understand it if you watch the movie why it's called that, because there's one character that's a snake and the other one that's a songbird. And
Well, now I don't want to watch it, Brian. Okay, now
well,
you ruined. No, okay, okay, yeah.
but anyway, we'll get into the first topic. DJ Smith gets sacked. Christian, congratulations on your prediction with Craig Berube, and you also got the second guy that you mentioned in DJ Smith gets finally let go, which we've been expecting for a while. I mean, what, the Senators are, what, like, third last, something like that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
this one must.
They did have games in hand too, but I think they squandered all of their games in hand.
Well,
Like,
dude, their first game with Jacques Martin behind the bench, they blew a 3-0 lead to the Coyotes and lost 4-3.
yikes.
So not a good
My
start. Yeah,
goodness.
listen, Brian, I'm not taking your congrats because I was still wrong because I chose Berube to be fired as the first coach. But
Oh,
listen, I'll take like part marks or whatever. I got some stats here on the Sens. Just when it comes to like who's at fault here, um, and stuff like that. Like since 2021-22. Okay, so this is the past 3 seasons, 2 and this partial season. Their points percentage is 474. That's
Bad,
25th in league.
bad.
Their goals for per game, 3 flat, which is 22nd. Goals against, they rank 22nd. Power play and penalty kill are actually not bad, 11th and 15th respectively. Shots per game, 12th, okay. But then back to shots against per game, 23rd. Face off win percentage, 16th. And then this is something I looked at because I'm like, I'm wondering if maybe it's just goalies, right? Because we always hear about show me a good goalie and I'll show you a good coach, and vice versa, right? Well, since, like I said, since the start of the 2021 season, their 5-on-5 save percentage is 910, which you think sounds really good. But this is just 5-on-5, and that ranks 24th in the league. So listen, it is bad goaltending, but all the other stats I read you out are pretty bad too. So I think the conclusion I've come to has just been bad all around outside of the special teams.
Dude,
Sounds to me like it's coach, it's goalie, it's the skaters. Like it's
in
not good all
terms
around in Ottawa, man.
in terms of goaltending alone, has DJ Smith had a goaltender that has put up higher than a 915? You look right now, it's Jonas Corposalo and Anton Forsberg. Before that, Matt Murray was there.
Talbot,
Was
who was
Cam
injured
Talbot
half
was
the
there?
time.
Yeah,
wasn't Philip Gustafson there too?
He maybe got a cup of tea though. Like he didn't get like any shot at a starter's job or anything like that.
not Minnesota. Philip Gustafson.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
he was in
Yeah,
Ottawa.
because that's who they traded for Talbot.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
you. You're
Yeah,
right.
and the
Yeah.
second he leaves, he has like the best stats in the
Yeah,
league.
now he's like
So
a
yeah, like if you
930.
want to talk about blame, point at the guy who's not here anymore too, right? Dorian.
Yeah.
That's part of this too. I chose that time frame as well, the past 3 seasons, because that's not in all of Smith's tenure, but that's when I'd say the pressure has been on him, and expectations have been on the team to at least sniff the playoffs, right? I think they did get close last year. I think they did make a late push, but I remember that bubble season. They were not good, and in the back half of the year, they turned it on big time, and everyone's like, okay, that's the team we got to see the year after. We didn't see him. Flash forward to last year, they have Giroux, DeBrincat, trade for Chikrin. Doesn't happen. This year, yes, you lose DeBrincat, but you bring in Tarasenko, Kubalik. Like you do stuff to shore up the team, and nothing. You get a goaltender. You're paying him $5 million, I think.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like I
Here's
blame
the
is
thing.
all around here, man.
You've kind of alluded to it. They've done this for the past, like they've just started off so bad. And a big reason why they didn't end up making the playoffs last year. They were so hot, I think February, March, April last year. They dug themselves so far into a hole before that there was no ground that they could. For them, it was like they were always taking like maybe 2 steps forward, but it was like 3 steps back because everybody else was, so far ahead of them already. And I wouldn't even be surprised if Ottawa goes like on a ridiculous like 20-5 stretch to end the year, let's say, right? Right
They
after
still
the
missed.
trade deadline, they're still gonna miss because already it's a lost season. Like they've already mathematically eliminated themselves from a playoff spot, and it's late December. They probably like eliminated themselves in like November. What was the point of? I know you wanted to see like, okay, Steve Stais, Michael Andlauer, the 2 new guys that are in. They wanted to see, what do they have? Like maybe they can get something out of DJ Smith that, the guys before him like couldn't. But you saw like now you're seeing what you like left to roost basically, and it's not good. This should have been a decision made in the off season, if I'm being completely honest. Like you should have probably went your separate way with this guy way before this became a lost season, because again, it's another lost season, and that now it's another year off off the books for Brady Tkachuk, for Shane Pinto, for Josh Norris, like and all of those guys. Like you just wasted a year basically.
So the rationale from the other side here, and this has been like reported, is that new ownership, so Andlauer and the new GM or president, he might do the Dubis, he might make himself the GM too. We'll see. But Steos, they were planning to come into the year, or when they came into their jobs, they wanted stability, right? They didn't want to cause more commotion than unnecessary. They wanted to leave this till this offseason coming up. That's how they wanted to go about this. Their hand was forced with the Dorian stuff and the first round pick. They felt like, okay, you didn't tell us about that or the full extent. You got to go. And it just became untenable with Smith, right? Like you can't have the fans chanting "Fire DJ" every single game, for more than a couple games. So that was their rationale there. But it's like you said, Dave. This is really a decision that should have been made by the previous front office. Like Dorian really should have fired him. Forget about last offseason, like we were talking about, these types of stats you could look 2 off seasons ago, man. Like it's really interesting that it took this long. I'm looking at their depth chart. Now, mind you, they have some injuries and suspensions, specifically like Matthew Joseph and Shane Pinto still got to come in. Let's throw those guys in there. Your fourth line is Yuri Smekal, Mark Kastelich, and Parker Kelly. And you might say a fourth line shouldn't make you sink or swim, but I think we saw with the Leafs early this year, your fourth line can cause a lot of damage against yourself. Like, what was the goal differential over a fourth line within the first, I want to say, 15 to 20 games? It was like,
Minus
specifically to
13.
Ryan Reeves. Yeah, it was like 0 to 13. That will kill you. That will kill you big time, man. And I don't remember the last time I looked at an Ottawa fourth line and said, that's a good fourth line, because this is not it. Their third pair, Brandstrom and Bernard Docker. I don't know, man. I think the time has run out on
Yeah.
Brandstrom at least. I like Brandstrom, but it's like, once again, I don't remember the last time I looked at Ottawa's third pair and said, I like this. We like their top 3. We like their top 4 actually with Zub. But Hamonic and whatever other depth guys you've got in there, like that's got to change to me too.
Is Shabbat still injured?
Shabbat
Yeah.
is injured, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's crazy that Brand, like now, like with Shabbat being on the shelf, like this should be when Brandstrom takes a step, you know? This should be like his Rasmus Sandin, his Timothy Liljegren moment where, you know, you have guys that are probably more etched into a spot and you take your chances, right? But it just doesn't seem like he has. And another thing too, I don't think DJ Smith probably utilized him. Like that was a big complaint from a lot of the Ottawa Senators fans that I saw over like on social media, where it was like kind of has a thing against Eric Brandstrom. Like he would do stuff in spite of Brandstrom, basically. So that probably doesn't help him. But still, like you got to be a professional about it. You got to like, you know, you got to take your chances when they come. You got to prove to your coach and to whoever that you actually deserve that spot. Like there is a reason why you were so highly touted.
It's definitely time for him to step up, given how Shabbat is out. You look at their team, their defense. Sanderson and Chikrin are both like class A defensemen in this league. It's kind of well, even if you look at their forward group, Stutzla, Brady, Norris, like that's that's a class A
To
forward
me,
group.
it goes to the special teams. Like you can see, the top of their lineup is really good because that's where the top of your lineup guys play: power play and PK, right? At least the best defensive and offensive players there. So it's not the height of the group that's the problem. Like I don't think any of us have a problem with Kachuk, Stutzel, like you said, Chikrin or Sanderson. Like that's not where the problem with this team lies. I do think though that like they need some better defensive forwards, right? Like even in that top 6, like none of those guys are shut down forwards, right? You're not counting on Stutzel for the matchup game. Kachuk, yeah, sure. Giroux, no. Tarasenko, definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Norris, probably not with a bum shoulder like that. He's still got to really show that he's back from. Kubalik, no. Like there's a bunch of guys that I don't know who's your matchup line. I have no idea.
Okay.
Probably that fourth line.
Yeah, that's how you lose the matchup then. Yeah.
Before we move on, I just 2 more things I wanted to bring up. The first thing is, when would you guys say that the Senators rebuild started?
Dude, I would say like it's got to be like 4 or 5 years ago at this point. Probably
I'm
whatever year they drafted Kachuk.
I'm gonna say that the year. Well, I think that was 2018, which lines up with my theory of it starting the year after Chris Kunitz ended the Senators.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vegas came in that same year. So if you think about it, a
Wow.
franchise that starts from nothing and a franchise that had some pieces and had assets to sell, look at the direction that they both gone. The other thing I wanted to bring up is the Senators traded DeBrincat for a first and Kubalik or something like that. But there's some other additional things that happen, like Tarasenko coming, but we'll just say in a vacuum, a first and Kubalik. They have to give up a first round pick within the next 3 years because of that debacle. So, and if Kubalik walks this offseason, which he likely will, what do they get? Zero. The
Probably
trade tree
zero.
ends right there. So, yeah, it's a little bit depressing, but I don't know. Last words on Ottawa, guys.
Mid.
I'm curious to see who. Yeah, mid, yeah, just at mid. I am curious to see who they end up going with as like a coach. Like if they go with Danny Alfredson full time, I'll be very surprised by that. Like I don't think that's the right decision. If they stick with Jacques Martin, I don't know if that's the right decision too. Like you got to move on from the same guys. You can't rotate the same guys in and out. Like I wonder if maybe this is and it's been wondered about too, if like this is the Patrick Waugh location, like if this is how he gets back in the NHL. There was a
The
thing where
Sens.
he was like, yeah,
Ooh.
he was spotted at like a Canada restaurant a couple months ago or something. It's like, okay, what the hell is Patrick Waugh doing in Canada, right? So I wonder if that's how they end up going here. And I really hope it's not any of the guys that got fired. I hope it's not Everson Berube or Woodcroft because yeah, no, stay away from those guys. Keep the good
If I'm
What
coaches away
about
from Ottawa.
if
Bruce
I'm not
Boudreaux?
mistaken,
No, no, I don't
so
think that's the. I don't think that's the for
if
Ottawa. No,
if I'm not
no,
mistaken, the Marlies head coach right now, John Gruden,
yeah,
who is also
not that John Gruden, and not
yeah
that other John Gruden either.
yeah the football coach, and there's
Yeah,
another
and the hockey
yeah
player
the hockey player. Yeah, that's right.
for the
And
Penguins. Yeah,
I believe he was the head coach of the Hamilton Bulldogs when they won the OHL Cup. Now I know they won it this past season, because I was there, but I don't think John Gruden was there. I think they won it like just shortly before that as well, like maybe like 2017 or 2018 they won, and he was the head coach at that time. Right now he's coaching the Marlies. Maybe they look at him in the like they have a couple of the Hamilton Bulldogs has produced some talented individuals like under Michael Anlauer and Steve Stais. I wouldn't be surprised if they dip into that bowl again and bring in somebody who they're familiar with. And the last thing I want to say on the Ottawa Senators is, Christian, do you remember, I think it was last offseason or the offseason before that, or maybe even the offseason before that, maybe it could have been all of them, but the Ottawa Senators fans on social media
I knew this was
conv-
coming.
convinced themselves that they had a better top six than the Toronto Maple Leafs.
yo, dude. Honestly, like we were talking about this last off season, like on the podcast, we talked about is this the best top six in the league? Right after the DeBrincat trade, we had that conversation. I will stand by
On
the top
paper,
six not being the problem. Like it's not the
yeah.
problem.
It's the way
But
that
no,
they
like
surround it. Yeah. No, you're right.
yeah, but also
100%.
like, but the way that like the Leafs top six, for example, it can carry games single handedly. Like the rest of the team doesn't even have to show up sometimes, and it's just the core four, and you're good.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ottawa has that gene in them yet. They might develop that, right? Like you might be able to just say, okay, Kachuk, Stutzel, Norris, and Giroux, you guys are the team tonight. Like that might work, but I'm taking the Leafs core four over the Sens for
So
sure.
if there's one thing that the Ottawa Senators fans should learn, it's to not get, too excited before the fruits of your labor officially develop. That's it. That's all I want to say.
That's a tough
As
lesson.
yeah, it is. It is a very good, like maybe in the future the Ottawa Senators fans will, you know, they'll be a little bit more not timid, but like they'll be more
Humble.
humble about their team. Maybe that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
David, speaking from experience, obviously, given his track record in the past, I don't know, 10 years that I've known him. Move on to our next topic. Marc-Andre Fleury was denied a start against the Pittsburgh in likely his final trip to Pittsburgh. What do we think about that, boys?
The theme of this podcast, for me at least, is I'm just going to be hitting you guys with a bunch of stats. And the Marc-Andre Fleury stats are not very good. And the reason I'm bringing them up is because I think this comes down to, is this a hockey decision? Is this a different type of decision? Marc-Andre Fleury ranks 56th out of 69 in goals saved above expected with a minus 4.6 rating. His 892 save percentage in 12 games played is 49th out of 59. For both of those stats, minimum sample size of 10 games played. My translation of that is not good. Not good. So it's tough to get too mad when a hockey team says we don't want to put the bad goalie in. And yet, despite all that, I'm going to say they should have put him in. I think they should have put him in.
And
Yeah.
you know what I want to say to you, Christian? Hey, nerd boy. Do you see all those stats you have?
Yeah. Out the toilet. Gone.
Take your stats and throw them out. Because I like vibes.
I like I said, I agree. I read all those stats and I'm like, this doesn't actually change my mind.
It doesn't
Put
matter.
him in the damn net. And the fans took it into their own hands, right? We got the Fleury chance either way. And I think basically after the game, he said, yeah, it was kind of awkward, but he appreciates it. Yeah, it was awkward because your team didn't put you in the goddamn net, right? John Hines, I don't know what the hell you're doing, man. Like you are the replacement coach. This is the second year in a row you're the replacement coach. Like, it's not your spot. If it's a Bill Guerin decision, I'm even more surprised. I think he's a former Penguin too. Like, come on. They did him dirty.
I think former teammate too. Did they not win a cup together in 2009?
I'll go find out.
That would be interesting because that was. I can't see Guerin doing that, man.
I don't know, man. Is he? You know what? There has been some stuff that have come out recently about Bill Guerin, and I don't know what is true. I'm not gonna like throw any accusations out there, but
he was on that team.
Okay, so
unbelievable. Yeah. I will say this though, Guerin to me strikes me as like a class for a while at least. I thought he was like a class A hockey guy because obviously he was a former player. You would expect him to, I don't know, have that. I can't see him making that decision himself.
Yeah, I think he's good too. Like I like him as a GM as well. I don't know if it's him, but yeah,
it's I agree with you in the sense that
even if it's not, is he not the boss of John Hines, especially now?
I don't know what his philosophy might be. It's up to the coach. Coach final decision. You know the Ross Atkins. Oh, it was all John Schneider.
Yeah,
with the Burritos,
that's
right?
just passing the blame though. Like I don't know, Bill. This is still your team. Like you know what I mean?
Day-to-day stuff, you leave it up to the coach, right? At the end of the day, the GM's not the guy making the on ice decisions. He's just doing the player out and everything else. But when looking at this situation from the vacuum, it kind of sucks that like this is Fleury's last time in Pittsburgh potentially for his career, and he's watching. It would have been nice to see him have the good old storied shutout or the 2-1 OT win or something like that. But you know that's a history lesson. That's not going to happen anymore.
Or he goes in there and gets shoved, like
which is more likely. But
yeah,
actually, you know what? Both teams kind of suck. So
I have a question? Who won that game?
Minnesota. Actually, I think no. You know what? I think Pittsburgh won. I'll find out for us. I'll find out. I think it was Pittsburgh. I think it was a close game. It was a 1-goal game.
So if you said Minnesota had come out with the win, I would have been like, all right, there's not that much to get worked up about. But if Pittsburgh wins that game, do you not say to yourself, what if we put Marc-Andre Fleury in net? And this is taking into account his stats and stuff, but we know stats mean fuck all when emotions are on the line. Like they really
Pittsburgh won 4-3. It was a back-to-back. And so they ended up going with Fleury. Do you know who Minnesota played on their back-to-back?
No.
Because that was Pittsburgh was the first half. Okay. Boston. Okay.
So they left
Boston
Fleury
the night after. They left Fleury for Boston. and they won that game 4-3 with Fleury having a 43 save performance.
Holy shit!
He threw up a 930.
Wow.
Against Boston.
So
Wow.
does that So does this make it actually look better on Minnesota's side of things, or is it like, nah, we could have got that performance against Pittsburgh? I don't know.
I'm
I
indifferent.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is still a little weird, and does feel like they overthunk it. Yeah, overthunk it. I think I'm overthunking it. I'm trying to I feel like, let's say this was a basketball situation. It's like, okay, whatever veteran is returning in their last possible game, like, it's a no-brainer. It's like, yeah, you put that guy in, he's gonna start the game or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I
Dude,
feel like it's only in hockey that this type of stuff
Kobe
happens,
Bryant.
man.
Kobe Bryant put up 60
Yeah,
points in his
yeah.
last ever game in the NBA.
I'm trying to think of like a Fleury comp, because like Fleury's not Kobe. But
Definitely
yeah,
not.
like, I don't know, like Vince Carter. I don't know, like, he had a nice like retirement tour. He did the
Yeah.
tour.
Maybe like
So
I know in MLB they always do like a retirement tour, like Derek Jeter,
yeah,
David Ortiz all had one, but they also never like they didn't play for another team. Neither did Kobe
true,
either. You know what I mean?
true.
Like they weren't on the like they all of them were
They were
on
They
a
the
one
team that
team player.
Yeah,
exactly.
when you think about the Flower, what's the first
I,
team that comes to your
it's
head? It's not
always gonna
Chicago.
be Pittsburgh. It's always gonna be Pittsburgh for me.
Yeah, Chicago.
It's not gonna be
I
Chicago. It's
forgot he
gonna
played on
be
Chicago. It's like power ranking. It's like it's Pittsburgh, Vegas, then take your pick.
Minnesota,
Minnesota,
Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah,
and like I don't know. I think they should have done it. Just
Yeah.
fresh from like the vibe
man.
standpoint. I mean, Fleury's still an NHL caliber
And
goalie.
he's a stand-up guy. Like it's not like people don't like Marc-Andre. Like he is a very
Yeah,
well-liked person. Why couldn't you
I
do this?
actually heard this conversation being bandied about, where it's like, okay, can you name a player in any of the North American sports that's more beloved in their respective league and like by fans? Like, who's a Marc-Andre Fleury hater? Does that exist? I don't.
Probably I would argue it's probably like Rangers fans or something like that. Like people that
Actually,
don't
I feel like we might be with one, maybe, right? This guy here might be
yeah.
one of them.
I don't even get the feeling that this guy here
Ryan,
even
no?
is a Marc-Andre Fleury hater.
Yeah,
No, I'm
Listen,
indifferent. I mean,
yeah.
we
fierce
slayed him in
rival.
2018. Like, remember, he was the
Yeah.
goalie for Vegas that year. I'm over it.
Well, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
It'd be a
yeah.
different story maybe if you guys didn't pull it through, maybe, I guess.
Yeah,
But
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 whatever.
yeah, that goes
Well,
without saying. I think that's a fair point, Christian.
we'll move on to the next topic. Luongo gets honored by the Canucks. Um, this happened in a game against Florida. I didn't. This is during the time where like I don't know. It was during exam season, so you guys got to update me because like I didn't think about hockey at all. But based on what I know, like they specifically picked Florida because of the fact that like those are the two teams he played for, but they didn't
He also
retire his
works for
number.
Florida.
That
Yeah,
too, but they also
yeah.
like didn't retire his number. Is that right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
they do the thing that the Leafs used to do before the Leafs centennial year. So this was 2016-17. All of the numbers up there, at least, I don't know if all of them actually, some of the numbers up there, like Sundin, Gilmore, Clark, I'm pretty sure those were not retired. They were honored.
I think the only one they
Um,
had retired was number 5, Bailey, I think, or number
okay,
6.
okay.
One
Maybe
whatever.
it's probably all pre-67 stuff,
Oh yeah, it
right?
was like that's like World War II type of
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. So that's how they went about it, and that's how they go about it in Vancouver. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of that. I think like just retire them. I don't know what
Yeah.
the point is really.
Mhm.
So yeah. I think I got some Luongo stuff here too. Yeah, I
I
did. Okay.
hopefully
Sorry, go ahead, Div.
soon. Hopefully soon. Like most, like all teams will should be doing this. Like if you have enough, if you have a hit like a franchise that's probably like about 50 years old, you should probably start retiring numbers just because like okay, I'm not gonna sit here and say the Vegas Golden Knights need to retire like I don't know Phil Kessel's jersey right now just because they're a franchise that's less than 10 years old, but a team like Vancouver should probably start retiring like the Sedins, Marcus Naslund, you know, Roberto Luongo, and guys of that ilk, right?
The A
Trevor
tier guys that
Linden.
carry your.
Yeah.
The tier A guys that carry your prospect for a generation.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a question for you guys. What do you think, or do you think at all, retired numbers should expire? Like, let's say there's a world where, like, I think the Montreal Canadiens are the best example here. Like, they have how many numbers retired? Like, I don't know, like 20 something or
Probably as
whatever,
many as their cups.
right? So it's like, how
That
many
many?
is too? Yeah, it's like how much is too much? So let's say in 100 years from now, should those still be retired? Should it be like, okay, you can carry over, or like five can be indefinitely retired? Like, I don't think anyone should ever wear 99, like even like 200 years from now or something. I feel like that's the one where it's like, no. But how about other numbers? Do you guys have even any thought? I just thought about this right now.
I'm gonna say you gotta at least have, let's say 40% of the, sorry, you gotta reserve 40. You can only retire 40% of the numbers, whatever, like
So you get
whatever
at
the
Okay.
numbers
least
they are.
like 60. You get about like 60 something numbers there.
Yeah,
Well,
because you gotta
you get
take
one
into
to
Less than
account.
99.
60.
So 40% is literally, right? You've got like 60 numbers to choose from.
Yeah,
But and we can't use 99 as well.
I'm gonna
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
true, true,
say
true.
that. I'm gonna say that because you gotta keep into account there's 50 guys that can technically be on a roster, and then you also gotta give like room for
Training
like
camp numbers
selection,
and stuff,
stuff like that. Yeah, it adds up.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, back to Luongo. So stats I've got here is just over the span of his career, which he began in the 1999-2000 season.
wow.
What a great year to be
Um,
born.
yeah, right. Pretty good year. Pretty good year. He retired in 2018-19. Over that span, he's first in games played with, I think it was like 1,044, like crazy number. And he's second in wins behind Broder by 1 win. 1 win over that stretch.
Wow.
Yeah, and his save percentage over that span is a 919. Among goalies that played 300 or more games, I did kind of arbitrarily choose that number. I was just like, what's a number that gets me the actual goalies of the league? And I didn't want guys that were just starting out now that had like small enough sample sizes where their stats are a little bit more inflated. So 300 games played minimum. He ranked fourth in save percentage. Tuukka
Holy.
Rask, Ben Bishop, Tim Thomas are ahead of him. And he is fourth with a 919. That's ahead of like Vasilevsky, Lundqvist, Corey
Carey
Schneider,
Price.
Pekka Rinne, Carey Price. Like, it's ahead of some really good names, man. It is a little tough to compare goalies though, because of just the fluctuation in scoring. Like, I find like more with players too, because we're going to be looking at goalies that start out now and their save percentages might be like 915, and then we're going to be like, that's really, really good or something, right? So
Mhm.
it's a little tougher that way.
Yeah,
think
and
I've
then you
asked.
also have that era in the 80s where like the best goalie in the league was probably posting an 890, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I've asked you guys this before, but like, where do you guys put Fleury in the top goalies of his generation? Like, is he in that price
Fleury
quick
or
tier?
Luongo or both? You
Both.
said
Okay.
Fleury.
Oh, sorry, Luongo. My bad. My
Okay.
Luongo specifically.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
what did we
I
say?
think, yeah, I think
I
we
put
said like
him.
he's not like in the all-time great. Like the all-time greats are like Hasek, Broder, like
Wow.
Price.
Dryden, Waugh, yeah, Price. He's right underneath that. Like I think he's with some of the names that we just said, like Lundqvist,
Quick.
Yep.
Rene, Quick. That's a good one. Yeah, I think
I
it's
think
there.
I will always say it, if you don't have a cup to your name,
Yeah,
unfortunately, as especially as a goaltender, because I think the cup means even more to a goaltender, because that shows me that you were on your A game for the whole playoff run. If you don't have a cup, unfortunately, like Luongo, we know the circumstances around his cup. Like he was there. Same thing with like a guy like Carey Price, even though you could debate on the actual goaltending. As if you don't have a cup, I don't think you could start touching that upper echelon with guys like Patrick Waugh, who has like 4. You know what I mean?
And just a quick question before we go on break. What is the Roberto Luongo moment that stands out to you? What is the moment that when you hear Luongo you think of?
I wish I could say that they were like better moments, because it's like
Oh,
Stanley
mine
Cup
are all negative.
final. Yeah, it's Stanley Cup final, they lose. It's
Yeah.
the Corey Schneider debacle with Tortorella, and he doesn't get to play in the outdoor game. And one that I'll bring up is a story that he actually just told during his little media stuff this week. Someone asked him about that famous, I think it was a tweet or it might have been a quote where he said like, "My contract sucks. Nobody," right? It was
No one wants it,
nobody
yeah.
wants me. My contract sucks. So he gave some context behind that. And he basically said, "I thought it was getting traded to Toronto, and then it didn't happen. And so I just said, my contract sucks, I guess. I don't know why it didn't happen." So yeah, Dave, how would that have
Dude,
been?
I
How would that
know.
have changed the trajectory
So
It
I know a
doesn't.
of
guy.
us? It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't. I know a guy who is like, so he was a goalie growing up, like all these years, and Bobby Lou was like his all-time favorite, and he's also a Leaf fan. And he was like, when like it was going around that the
Yeah.
Leafs were so close to getting him, and that something happened, he has cursed Dave Nonis ever since. Like we throw it into our group chat against him like
Yeah.
as a joke, and he's like, if you guys don't stop, I'm gonna like scream or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like he gets visibly up, like he gets upset when
Yeah.
Dave Nonis is brought up.
Dude, how would you have felt? Like, I don't remember what the trade package was, but let's say like it probably
probably
involved the
too much.
first.
I won't lie, probably too much
Dude.
for Luongo at that time, but
Yeah, it might have been a first. Like, it might have been the first that became Nylander. Like,
yeah,
that
I'm
would
good.
have been not good for us, man. Yeah.
Nylander would look good in a Canucks jersey, though.
Yeah.
He would. He would.
Would Brock
shut up.
Besser look as good? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think my memory, I'll put this quick. My memory is when Luongo like almost shit his pants during a playoff game.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, dude, he was off the
Dude.
bench for like 10 minutes to start the game. Like to start, I think it
Yo.
was like the second period.
I just realized, like, how are we forgetting the goddamn Olympics? Was he not the starter for us in
Yeah,
Yeah, he
2010?
was.
Like, yeah,
He
and he
was.
won the gold medal in
Yeah.
Vancouver. Like, okay, so that's number one. Jeez, man. How am I forgetting that?
Dude, and he had to beat out like guys like Brodeur and who
Fleury.
was. Yeah, that's right. Fleury was
Bro,
our
like what a trio of goalies that we had
Exactly.
then, and now, I don't know who the three goalies for Canada would be.
Oh my
Changes
God,
every day.
dude!
Changes
Literally,
every day.
dude. Tell me,
Not
like,
Binnington.
get Bobby Lou.
Yeah.
Tell him sign like a 2-month
Strap the
deal.
pads back on, buddy.
Come back up for the next like whatever tournament we have, like for the foreseeable future.
No contract involved. No one can blame your contract.
And with that, we'll just go on a quick break. Okay, we are back. This is our last episode before we go into Christmas. What follows after Christmas?
New Year's.
New Year's, right? New Year's.
I was gonna say Boxing Day.
Oh,
but,
okay. I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
no, and there's the World Junior traditionally starts on Boxing Day. Does it start on Boxing Day this year?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, it's that time of the year again. It's the second best tournament of the year, I think. Obviously, the first being the Stanley Cup playoffs, because there's no other NHL tournament. But you guys excited?
Always.
Yeah, I'm very excited, especially because we got like some Toronto content on the Canadian team this year. That's probably the thing I'm looking most
Is it
forward
Cowan?
to. Cowan and
Minton.
Minton. We got both, man. It's
Minton
double
too?
duty. Yep.
Yeah.
They're
He's
gonna
that young?
both start in the bottom six. Yeah. But I don't know. Cowan actually I feel like could be the guy who like works his way up the lineup. Like he really impressed. So he's my number one viewing priority.
I think Fraser Minton had like pretty sure he had a hat trick in the last pre-tournament game before they're heading over. So maybe even him as well. When was the last time the Leafs had a this is gonna be like a forward prospect playing on the Canadian team? Because I know we've had prospects playing.
Dave, you should know the answer to this.
Should I?
He plays for our team right now. Like he plays for the Leafs right now.
But Canadian?
Marner. Yeah, Mitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mitch.
Is he the last? He's probably
Yeah.
the last one, right? Like
Yeah, he
that's
is. He is.
2017, 28, 2016,
No, that's 2015.
2015. So
Yeah,
I like
8 years.
we've had guys in the middle like Liljegren and like Willie was there too.
Sandin was 2-time
Sa-
defenseman of the tournament,
Dude,
back to
Sandin
back.
had 1 year where he was phenomenal as well too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, but like Canadian, like
Dermott
people
was
were,
also on that Canada team with Marner that year.
yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Now you're looking
yeah.
back like 8 years. That's pretty crazy.
Leafs legend Timmins was on that same team. Okay.
Didn't know it at the time.
Yeah, we didn't know it at the time. Yeah.
Do you guys know the two? Do you guys know who the two teams are with zero representation?
I was gonna say Pittsburgh, but actually they have a guy on Canada. Uh,
Is the Caps?
No, we have two.
no, dude, no. I swear you have. I swear you have
Well, we
more
have
than
two on Team USA off the top of my head.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I don't know, who is it?
They're both Western Conference teams, and they're both quote unquote competing.
Vegas?
Colorado?
Colorado's one, and the other one is Edmonton.
Edmonton doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't. When I saw the stat, like which of the two teams with the representation, the first thing that came to my head was the Islanders, but I don't know. Colorado and Edmonton both check out in the sense that well, I don't know. I don't remember the last time.
Edmonton especially.
Yeah.
Edmonton, I'm like, yeah, you got nobody. You whiff on all your freaking prospects these days.
Yeah, no,
True.
I'm really excited to see the World Juniors this year. I think the US will be taking it this year. Just based off the Smith line. Like it's been that good.
No, your forward group is insane. Your forward group is really good. Hey, other than Leonard, I only learned this yesterday. Who's the other Caps prospect on the US?
Ryan Chesley.
Yeah, and he's a defenseman, right?
Yes. I believe he's a right shot defenseman. He was really, really good with that year with it was the Cole Hudson year. Or sorry, the Lane Hudson year. And we went
2 years ago.
Something like that. And we picked Ryan Chesley, I think 3 picks over Hudson because his handedness. And I think that I don't know if it was the right choice, but in
3
my
picks
opinion,
before him, you're saying?
Before.
Oh,
like
okay.
we had the option of the two, and
Yeah.
they were line mates that year from what I remember.
Mm.
But I'm really excited to see like what happens this year. Nazir is playing again, and there's another player that I was really excited to see.
Cutter Gauthier?
It was either Gauthier or Snuggerud, one of the two. I think they both made it.
I'm excited for Snuggerud. Yeah, first of all, like class A name, just Snuggerud, like just a funny one. I'm excited to see him because he was line mates with Nyes and Cooley. And a lot of people are saying like he's just as good as Cooley, like he might be like the best player on that line, which is high praise because we're fans of Nyes and we're also fans of Cooley. So
yeah,
what the hell does this guy look like, right?
Real high praise.
Yeah, Celebrini as well for Canada. Like whenever you get a chance to see the projected #1 guy, that's always exciting. Macklin Celebrini.
But is he projected #1 just because of Canada, or is he the truth? Like I don't know if he's the truth.
Probably is the best player.
I think he is the truth because I couldn't actually name you who the #2 is because I think it's been changing all year. Like I know Cole Eiserman was a guy who was in there.
Steve,
I don't even think.
I think.
No, differently spelled name. But yeah, like I couldn't name you who the #2 is right now. There might be some Russian prospects that we won't see this tournament that are in that conversation. So I think it's him and then a step below. Like I don't know if there's a real challenger this year.
So the last time, this just popped into my head. The last time we kind of had I know this is gonna go like this going into the draft. The last time we kind of had a draft that wasn't as highly celebrated was the 2017 draft. That was the Nico Hischier, Nolan Patrick year, right? And there was a like a lot of people who just weren't excited about it. But that has turned out like okay, the 2016 draft, 2015 draft were good.
They speak for themselves.
They do. 2017 has like a lot more hits than misses, especially in the first round. Does that okay? Because I would argue that this upcoming draft, okay, maybe we're a bit too far out from it right now, but there was just so much hype last year with Connor Bedard, even in years past, like like you had Lafreniere before and guys like that. There just seems to be a little bit of like a tempered spirits about it. Does this maybe mean that we get to see a big crop of great talent coming into the league from this draft in the next couple of years, like kind of like how we saw with 2017?
It's possible.
I think there's always great players in every draft, right? So, and there's almost always like a hidden gem. So it might not necessarily like we might not get the star power at first overall like we had in like 2015, 16. But it's like you said in 2017, pretty sure that's McCarr fourth overall,
Kyle
Heiskanen,
Connor, Thomas
right?
Chabot.
Bravo.
Yeah, like that's a damn good class, right? So there will be stuff later in the first round. So we'll see how that turns out.
One last guy.
Community draft is always fun. Yeah.
Yeah. One last guy I wanted to shout out for Team USA is Trey Augustine. I thought he's like last year. I thought he was better than Knight coming in from the 2019 year, which Knight was the hot goalie for the past little bit. I thought Augustine is better. We'll see how Augustine does this year. He is the Detroit prospect. They likely will need a goalie in the upcoming year, so fingers crossed that he shows up and performs well.
Who's Canada got between the pipes this year?
So I only know this because I looked last night. Matisse Rousseau. Yeah, right. You've heard of him, obviously. Right now, I trust me. I didn't know who this guy was, and I think it was Dominic Di Vincentis. I think is our the guy who I think
Wow.
is a Winnipeg guy.
Winnipeg guy.
So I think the Russo guy is draft eligible. So that's our tandem.
Sounds like a very
But
Italian like tandem that we got going on
well,
here.
Di Vincentis maybe, but Russo is like
French.
French, like Rousseau.
Oh,
Matisse
that's
Rousseau.
I'm thinking Russo with an O at the end. But I
Yeah,
see
this is
what
a
you're saying.
Russo with the EA U, like it's
X,
that
yeah.
style, yeah.
Russo.
So yeah, we'll see. I don't know, like World Junior Canadian goaltending it's not really a good barometer for like their careers, I find. I mean, even just goaltending in general at the juniors. Like remember Brian, you guys had like Tyler Parsons and there's like another guy too. They just don't always turn out. Like it's not I don't really put too much
So
stock in like if you're the starter for the junior team.
I will also say this. There's one year where Tage Thompson was like the worst player on the Team USA, and look at him now, right?
Then he
So
was the worst player on Buffalo for multiple years, right? Like yeah.
And St.
Yeah.
Louis.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking at the Team Canada roster. Did Poitras get moved? Like, did he get the approval to
Yeah,
go?
I did see that. So we have Poitras. So he'll probably be like he
That's
might
an
be the
NHL
one
ready
C.
guy.
He probably will be
Yeah.
the 1C just because of
Yeah.
NHL experience. He
Yeah.
might light
So
up a
He might be the best player
team.
of the tournament.
yo, fingers crossed, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll cheer and then I'll boo because I'll remember, God damn it, this guy plays for the
Yeah, he
Bruins.
plays for the
But
Bruins. God damn it.
for a couple of weeks we'll mostly cheer.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into the next topic. Christian wanted to do some 2023 stat roundup stuff.
Yeah,
And
we've got some interesting stuff here, man. Some very random stuff though. I will give you that, okay? All right, there was one team that didn't have a single misconduct in the year 2023. What team didn't take a single misconduct, guys?
I'm gonna
And
throw my
I'll tell
money.
you that the context is they don't get penalized at all. Like they are the least penalized team. They don't take amount of penalties. They don't like anything involving penalties. They're on the lower end of the spectrum. There's just not a lot of penalty frequency in this team's games.
I'm gonna throw my money at New Jersey.
Okay, Dave, you got a guess here?
I know it's not the Leafs, even though I know that we fall into that
We would
category,
fall into
though.
that category, but yeah, I'll give you that it's not the Leafs.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! I just recently saw like the what's that graph called when you like is like point like the bar and I don't even know. There was a graph and it was like least amount of penalties taken and like it was
Yeah.
like that. I don't even know how to describe it. I saw that recently, but now I can't think of another team to take. I guess I'm just gonna shoot out a guess. I don't know.
It's a really weird stat, guys. It's a really weird one.
Is it
But
a
like I
weird
said,
like team?
It
I don't
is-
know.
Just throw something.
Seattle
yeah,
Kraken. Honestly, I have
yeah,
no idea.
it's the Dallas Stars, and to me, it's weird
Really?
because I feel like a lot of people would think like the Stars because they're a
Jamie
contender.
Benn hasn't had a misconduct this year.
Yeah, dude. So it is weird in the sense that they're not the contending team that you'd think would be the least penalized and like not involved in scrums and stuff. Like you'd think of Dallas as like a tough team, a team that wants to get into it. And dude, they just don't take penalties. They don't do any of this stuff. It's really weird to me. And so I did find that interesting. A little hard to come around to the no misconduct thing, but they're the only team without one. And then I dug into everything else, and it's like, okay, it's backed up. They just don't take penalties of any kind. Okay, this one you guys don't need to answer for. I just want to point out Casey Middlestat is 10th in the entire league in even strength points in the year 2023 with 59. 10th in the entire league, man. I think he has 67 points on the year, 59 of them even strength. That's pretty surprising to me. Our takeaways per 60 leader is Mitch Martin. I want to give a shout out to him. He's also the total takeaway leader.
That's
Shout out
not
to Mitch.
surprising. Yeah.
Eli Tolvanen is 6th in blocks by forwards. Eli Tolvanen. Do you expect Eli Tolvanen to be the forward blocking king or up there?
Most
Just
people
random to me.
most people expected him to be the perennial 40 goal
Waiver king.
scorer.
Okay, yeah, true.
Like
They
in
did.
Nashville, at least, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So to me, that was just like, dude, I do not think about defense when I think of Eli Tolvanen. How many between the legs goals were scored this year, guys? How many in the year 2023?
Does that include
75.
was it Kirill
Holy crap.
Marchenko the other day?
This is up to date with probably before yesterday.
So
it
if
should
Brian
be
said
in there.
75, I'm gonna say between the legs.
It is
goals,
not. It is not 75. I will
could-
tell you right now. It is not
dude,
75.
I think off the top of my head,
Lord.
I could count like 5. I'm gonna put out a guess and say
Okay.
7 just to go a bit
Okay.
higher.
It's a pretty good guess. The answer is 9. 9 between the
Okay,
legs.
well, I was
Damn.
off.
This is the one. No, okay. This is the stat that I found very, very interesting. It's a very new stat. It's only been tracked in the past couple years. Guys, how many home runs were hit in the NHL? Okay, home runs. And what the hell do I mean by that? How many goals were scored? Batted into the net.
Is it lower or higher than?
Do front-facing tips
It
count?
is. I don't know. It's however the NHL tracks it. So that's you're gonna have to figure that out for yourself. But it is higher than between the legs.
Well,
I'm gonna say
there was
13.
more home runs. The answer is 50. 50 home runs were
50.
hit.
So it
Yeah,
does count.
5-0.
So they have to have like some
Front-facing tips.
some sort of like not just like
I think
a
it's
tip,
like
but like
just a whack
like
it
a
in because they
moving
have
tip. You know what I
yeah
mean?
because they have a separate category for deflections and tips. Those are separate categories from this. This is literally called batted in. Okay.
I
This
only remember
category.
one
Just
home
got a
run
couple
goal this whole
RBIs.
season.
Yeah. So who is the NHL home run king, guys? This is actually career. So like I said, it's only been tracked the past 2 seasons. So the all-time leader is only based off of 2 seasons. There is one player in the NHL that has three home runs. He is
taking
the Barry
Pavelski.
Bonds. Who is it?
Barry Bonds.
I'm taking Pavelski.
I'm going John
Taking Pavelski?
Tavares.
Well, the answer is Ryan Nugent Hopkins, guys. I don't know how.
RNH. Wow.
RNH is the NHL home run king with 3 home runs. Final 2 stats, goalie related. Your points leader by goaltenders with 4 points. Only guy with 4
Tristan Jarry.
points. Okay, Brian, you got a guess?
No, I have no guess. That's
The answer is Vitek Vanacek with 4
Wow.
assists. So Vanacek is your NHL points leader. And this is just a Leaf stat if you're in. Joseph Wall, 6th in save percentage among goalies with a minimum 10 games played with a 921 in the year 2023, boys. So shout out to Joe Wall. And yeah, that's all the stats I got for you. The home
That's a
run
lot of
one I
stats
found
right there.
interesting, man. It was a lot of stats, but
I didn't even
I'm
really
gonna pay
track
attention to that home run one through the years, okay?
Is that legit? Like when you go on NHL.com, does it actually track as a home run?
It tracks as batted in.
Okay.
Batted in is what it says. So
No
I took
RBIs,
some
though.
liberties there, some creative liberties to call it a home run.
Okay.
Okay, let's move into the next topic, the Capitals. So last night we saw the debut of Ivan Mironishenko.
Brian, while you talk some Caps for a minute, I'm gonna get away from the keyboard here. I'm gonna chase my dog who stole my slipper. I'll be back in a minute.
I don't remember the last time we had a rookie with this type. You know when you're watching, and it always pans to the rookie.
Yeah.
Like they show him. That's like at least 40% of the camera time was him last night. I will also say this: I saw an absolutely hilarious tweet with the Capitals scoreboard. Like, and you know how they have like the last names, like Ovechkin, whatever, Kuznetsov. Aaron Mironishenko's last name does not fit on the scoreboard.
So they're gonna have to change
The
that
font.
graphic basically. Or yeah, they're gonna have to do something for the graphic to get it to fit because they honestly just call him Miro, like Miro.
Yeah, that's
Because like
probably what.
there's no way we're going Mironachenko this whole time. Like it's already tough for me to say it. Could you imagine? I pity the play-by-play guys that have to do Caps games in the future with I'm gonna call him it's Ivan.
Ivan, yeah.
This is Ivan Mironachenko. So just like I don't know. They got to come up with a nickname for him. There's no way that you keep going along with Mironachenko.
What
Christian,
number is Ivan Miroshnichenko?
he is
Mironachenko.
63.
63? So
Which
just
is
call him Russian Brad Marchand.
we could,
I don't think
but
it'll sticks.
no, I don't think so. Well, they both start with M, so potentially. Christian, I was just telling David about how on like the scoreboard, like the Giants thing in the middle of the ice,
Yeah.
his last name doesn't actually fit.
So is it just ... Like
No,
what does it
like
say?
the CHEN.
Just goes Miroshnichet and then that's it.
Yeah, they gotta
Wow.
size that down a bit. But no, he had
That's
a good
crazy.
first game.
I don't know. Like, I feel like there has to have been like a longer last name in the NHL. Is he really the longest last name?
Bernard Docker.
Right? Like that sounds pretty long, man. Like I don't know. It's something to dig into. Maybe more stats next episode, guys.
I will say this: he had a good first game. I like the way Carberry handled it. Carberry, before the game started, he went out and said, "This kid is the expectations are zero. We just want to see him play, to see him do his thing." He
Is
did
that
this.
his debut? Did he not get any games at the beginning of the season?
No, this was his full-on debut. Lapierre
Okay.
did get games at the beginning of the season. Lapierre actually scored a goal and got an assist last night. But no, even did his thing. He got a couple good shots, got a couple good looks. No goals as of right now, but there's gonna be many goals to come. I think he had a good game, if I'm being honest with you guys, and I'm kind of impressed with the line he's on. He's playing. Well, technically it's the third line, but like they play quite a bit. He's playing with Mantha and Protish. Lapierre and
It's a
Wow.
big
Protish.
line, man. Those are some two big dudes
Just
between
yeah,
Lapierre.
the Twin Towers.
It's
Yeah,
weird,
and then
but they play well. Like they have that organic chemistry already. I don't know. Carberry has buy-in from Mantha. That's another guy that's been playing quite well this season. I haven't like watched a lot of Caps recently because I've just been busy. But based on what I've seen so far, Mantha's been one of our better players this year. He's probably like second or third in scoring on our team.
so is new Mantha Kuznetsov?
New
Probably,
Mantha
yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah,
have to think of that
yeah.
for a second.
Yeah, sorry. I put that in weird terms. But yeah, I gave Mantha a shout out on your behalf last episode, Brian, because I knew that you were impressed with him. So me and Dave, we gave Mantha a shout out.
I don't want to say this because like if I say this, it's gonna come bite me in the ass. But
Say it.
I'd resign him. Like,
Okay,
Fair deal,
let's
though.
go.
yeah,
I think we agreed that the money he's on right now is too much. But
Yeah.
if you're able to whittle that down just a little bit, you can say what 5.7 or
he's on
5.4.
5.7 right now. I'd be happy with Mantha. I know, the face you made. I'd be happy with Mantha on like
Half of that.
3.25.
Literally half of
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
the way he's playing right now, I don't know if it was a Labio problem or if it was a Mantha problem. Looking at it now, it's probably a Labio problem.
I think it was a bit of both because his exit from Detroit wasn't that great either. You know what I mean? Like I don't think Lavio. I think Lavio could get some blame because he wasn't able to get the best out of him. But I
It's
don't think
weird
he
though,
was
because
doing
didn't he
himself any
start
favor.
strong though? Didn't he start strong in Washington?
He did, and then
I
he
think
just
he had
hit a wall,
I think he
and
had
then
like
he
2
was the
goals
worst
in like
player.
3 games.
He
Yeah, like
it was he didn't score from like February, for
Yeah.
like up until like since November this year or something like that. There was a ridiculous stat,
Wow.
but he's been stepping it up. He's been good this year, and I think we should. I wouldn't mind having him on this team. I genuinely don't think that's an issue. He's just a guy that you plug in and he plays well. Now
Well,
he is, at least.
he's obviously not. I think when he was first drafted, he was drafted as a guy to be like your top one of your top guys, like an
he was
A.
very highly touted.
Yeah.
Very highly.
If you
He's
have Anthony Mantha as your secondary or tertiary option on that team, I think you could do a whole lot worse.
he was
I think at this point, that's what like he's a third line player who maybe in a quick pinch injury issues you throw him in there like a top 6 winger role, but third like that's still fine. And he's a big dude. Like I think you'd be fine with him on your third line.
Mm-hmm.
when you look at him, you would think power forward, right? Like you would
Yeah,
think he's a Tom Wilson-esque guy. He's not like that at all. He's
he's
silky,
he's got the soft.
He's
Yeah,
smooth, yeah.
and
he's big for nothing. Is that what you're saying?
that's what I would say about 2 months ago.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know what?
He's
No,
been motivated now.
he's good. Like
Well, you have to, if you're big like that, you have to pick one thing, right? It's either
Yeah.
you have your hands and you have your shot, you have your skill, or you use your frame. You can't not pick, like, you can't. I mean, it'd be
Can't go 0
obviously
for
be,
2.
yeah, it'd be fantastic if you could do both, because that's what every team is looking for. Right now, they're looking for big guys who also have size and like have skill.
it's pick one.
Yeah, if you can't do if you can't body people, then I don't know, use your hands like nobody else can, basically, right?
Oh, one more thing I just wanted to bring up with the Capitals is I just wanted to say that this might be nearing the end of what we might see of TJ Oshie. He just got hurt again recently, which is
Oof.
why Lapierre ended up and Miroshnichenko got called up. I swear this guy gets hurt like every other week. Like
Yeah.
you just refresh Twitter, Oshie's hurt day to day. Oshie's hurt day to day. And it's kind of sad. Like you're seeing the end of another Capitals player potentially. We already saw the end of whatever happened there, and now, well, we knew she was consistently getting hurt already, but now it's like, wow, it's actually happening.
How much of this, and I don't want to make it seem like it's Oshie's fault entirely, but how much of this is on Oshie in the sense that he plays recklessly and sometimes puts himself in vulnerable spots? Because this week, Ryan Lindgren, I think we've now come to the realization this guy puts himself in a vulnerable spot at least once a game. Like he got rocked by McCabe, Pasternak, and someone else too. Like the Rangers played 3 games and he went 3 for 3, getting absolutely clobbered. So I think there's just players who, for better or worse, either put themselves into a spot unknowingly or maybe knowingly. Maybe they're like, this is my job. I need to be in this spot. If I get hit, I get hit. Or maybe just some of them don't have that spatial awareness. Do you think any of that is in play with Oshie?
I'm gonna say no, just because of the fact that we've seen how far Oshie. Last year was an exception. Usually we
Yeah.
play about 15, 16 games into the playoffs every single year, and it's been like that for what, like a decade now. It's been a while. You add those up, it's like every 4 playoffs, every 4 years, like you're playing an extra season worth of games. Oshie's wearing his body. At this point, I'm like half the team's made out of glass. The only exception is Ovechkin, and God bless that guy because he needs it right now. His career has not been great this season,
Where's
but
your panic level there? Like, how
like
concerned are you? Like, what do you think he can top out at this season for goals? He's at 5, 14-game goalless streak. Can
I
he
think
get
he can
back to
get 30.
25 to 30?
I
Yeah.
think he can get 30, but I've already accepted that this is going to be his bad year, and he might have to sign a 1x1 just to try to get the goal record. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But
Oh,
I
I
think it's
think you come this close, I think.
yeah, you just try to do it
I'd be really
anyway.
surprised. Like I don't know if Ovechkin strikes me as the type to come this close to not do it.
But what I
What
will
Yeah.
say is that like the panic button is getting close to being hit for that.
what game in the near future do you just say, okay, fuck it, this is the Ovi game. Let Ovi take 150 shots and try to get as many goals as
It
he
won't
can.
happen under Carberry.
Really?
Carberry's system is very distinct. You'll see that they want to play the puck. They want everybody to get touches in, get shots in. I think that Ovechkin needs to buy into the system more. He's the one guy that when you watch him play, he doesn't look like he's part of the system. And for his own right, I mean, like you've been doing this, you've been with the team for what, 20 years now? Let him do his thing. But I don't know. One thing I will say that Ovechkin doesn't have is this is the first time in his career where he's not playing with a class A playmaker on his wing. Dylan Strom shoots more than you guys think. Dylan Strom is probably our highest scoring player on the team this season. Even last night against the Islanders, there was a the overtime winning goal. Ovechkin was the one that laid it off to Strom. At the end of the day, we need the points. We need to get into the playoffs. But yeah, like there's no Backstrom feeding him perfect passes anymore. There's no Kuznetsov, but Kuznetsov's not feeding him perfect passes anymore. Best case scenario, maybe McMichael or Lapierre becomes that playmaker that we need to get Ovechkin past the finish line. But he's got to find a way to score goals on his own sustainably if we want to see what we want to see, unfortunately.
Any thoughts on Ethan Bear?
I'm a little bit sad that we didn't go internal. Lucas Johansson got sent down. Edmondson's healthy now. I'm indifferent. I don't think we should have given him an extra year, but that's what put us on top. Ethan Bear will be interesting because we will likely have to move either one of Jensen or Van Riemsdyk, which we just signed, to fit him on that right side. I don't know, man. Like, it's just disappointing. Like, in the sense that I wanted to go internal.
Okay. I don't know. I think we got to see what the contract looks like too. Like I think we got to see the guy hit the ice, see what he's actually got. Because like there was interest for him, like multi-team interest. Vancouver, you guys, us apparently were poking around. So there's got to be something there that makes this make sense.
I don't remember the last time we got a random guy from free agency or brought in someone and it be a standout performer in that sense.
Sonny Milano.
Milano was like in the beginning of the season though. This is like
Yeah,
mid-season.
well, this is a very rare scenario, right? Like,
right.
Okay, I want to double back on Ovechkin actually, because me and Dave last podcast we talked about like what do you need to get Ovechkin going, and you talked about like needing a playmaker. Like that's top of the priority list, right? Like either through the trade deadline or free agency, like is the priority get the best playmaker to play with Ovechkin?
I want one. I think we
Yeah.
I think we need a forward somewhere in there, but
Yeah.
it's not gonna have like there's playmakers are very hard to come by, especially in this day and age, especially center playmakers too.
Yes. Do you think because I saw that Pacioretty's coming back. Do you think he's part of the fix, or it's like, okay, we have another shooter, and that's going to open up space for Ovi, like maybe on the power play, or even just maybe play them together, where it's like, okay, we have to respect Pacioretty's shot, and now all of a sudden Ovi's not getting tightly covered, and he can actually shoot.
The only concern I have with Pacioretty is what type of player Pacioretty comes back as, because now it's been at least 2 years since we've seen 100% Max Pacioretty. So
I'm expecting to have like zero movement and just still have the hand, still have the shot. You know what I mean? Like just a stationary.
So another
Ovechkin.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, just Ovi.
I actually saw Pacioretty play a couple games with Carolina last season. I saw the game. Actually, was watching the one.
Probably saw the only games that he played with
he
Carolina.
Scored, man. I think he had like 2 or 3 goals in the 4 games he played or whatever.
I think
he was actually good, and if he's even 80% of that, I'd be happy. The problem is now we have so many promising guys coming up, and then we have an old veteran that's like kind of blocking their way in. I don't know if this is like what we need. If we get 20 games out of this guy, I think it's a success just based off that. If I think he's the Ovechkin fix, no. I think they're both distinctly left wings. I don't remember if Pacioretty plays on the right, but if he plays on the left, they'll never play together. And if it's on the power play, they would probably occupy the same spot. And I know who I'm giving my preferred placement of that spot is to. So
yeah. Okay.
I actually don't know how we're gonna manage the forwards because if you look at our left wing, it's Ovechkin, Protesh, Phillips, Malenstein. Malenstein's not getting moved out. Ovechkin's not getting moved out.
Can
So,
Protosh play center or right
yes,
wing? I
they
thought
can.
he can. Yeah.
But the problem is the centers are locked in with Strome, Lapierre, Kuznetsov, Dowd, and then we also need to factor in McMichael coming back in later on.
The answer is trading Kuznetsov, which isn't an answer because you won't trade Kuznetsov. So
Quote unquote, my contract sucks from another player,
yeah,
but
yeah,
in Russian.
This is somebody's contract who actually like sucks,
yeah.
dude. Like nobody's touching him.
No.
I don't think anybody. Okay, pretend his contract was good or like a standard 3x3 or whatever it should be worth now. Would you take this guy just based off the locker room stuff?
3x3, no, because the term is stupid, right? Like if he had 3 years left, I'm not touching it. Yeah, like I probably wouldn't touch it. Like if I was a GM, I'd do everything but trade for him. Like I'll take the guy on the 800K that is a fourth liner. Yeah, he's probably on my no-go list.
Just probably based on locker room shenanigans and stuff like that.
Yeah,
He's probably not the best option, but I don't know. That's enough Capitals. The one thing that we will talk about before we go into break is 2023 is just around the corner. What is the best moment of 2023 for you guys, hockey-wise?
2024.
well, 2023 is 2024 is around the corner. 2023.
Is that what I said? Okay,
Yeah.
you guys know what I mean.
Okay, time is
2024
a circle, man. Dave, do we have the same answer? I'd assume we have the same answer here.
What, like the best hockey moment 2023?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
easily
Yeah.
has to be the Leafs getting through the first round of beating
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Lightning. Like,
Who scored
it
that
has
goal?
to JT, baby. JT 1K.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, Brian, how about you?
Like Ryan Leonard.
Wow.
Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean,
Ryan
okay, I guess
Leonard.
for you guys, yeah. So that's when you know it's been a bad year, right? That's when you
Yeah,
know.
it's been a tough year. We don't
Did
need to do
Ovi
Leafs big.
not hit? Did Ovi not hit
800, right?
800?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
2023?
Against
But I
Chicago.
guess for Brian, he's got higher hopes. So he's like, no, we're not 800. We're out here looking for 900.
900. We're looking for
Yeah.
1,000.
895. But
Yeah.
we don't need to do too much Leafs because I know we're on a strict time budget today.
We don't.
But let's reminisce about the year a bit. We had a fantastic year. Our numbers on the website were up drastically from last year. David killed it with his socials. We grew a lot this year, surprisingly. Like we did really well. There's not much more to say than that without giving out the private numbers. But will we be back for 2024?
Will we?
Absolutely. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned if we're here January
Finds
1st.
out. Will we spontaneously combust?
You guys have really big things coming in terms of academics. You guys are going back to school. You guys excited for that?
Very.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Yeah. You're excited to go back to school too, Brian, right? Yeah.
No. But like, you guys kind of got like a brief little summer, well, extended summer. Dave got it. Dave took the year off.
I had a whole year basically. Yeah. Dude, I haven't been in school since last December.
It's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
No, you legitimately had 12 months off.
Yeah.
Now you're going back and stuff.
And I technically wasn't even in school at that time, but like that's a different story.
At least now you'll be studying something you want.
Yes, 100%. And I'm gonna get to see Christian every day in
yes,
person.
Sir.
I don't think I've seen Christian in person in legitimate years. Yeah, probably.
No, it'd be high school. Yeah.
Yeah.
They mean they've had like grade 10 geography together or something.
We saw each other one time, and it was 3 of us this summer.
Yes.
And that was the first time we
good old
saw
baseball.
Each other. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the game. Right.
Oh, that's right.
Twice.
We saw each other twice.
Yeah, I forgot about
professional.
The
Me and Dave were both thinking about, some good old baseball down at the local park. And not the actual major league.
Oh, right.
Your boys are my boys.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Dave's boys won, but it was a good.
It was an
event.
entertaining game.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the future. Yep.
Okay.
Hey,
Wait,
hey,
are you guys in the same
Alrighty.
classes, like identical?
Yeah, it's the
Everybody
same
has the
schedule.
exact same schedule,
Okay.
man. Everybody has the same schedule.
We'll end it off with that. 2023. What a great year, I'd say. For me, at least. I don't know about you guys. Probably not so great for some of you guys, but okay.
Why are you dissing our viewers like that, Brian?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
dissing
Hopefully,
no,
it's
well,
great for everybody.
Holy man!
I meant for Dave. I meant for Dave specifically.
Why? I didn't know that Dave had a bad year, man. Okay.
I had just a work filled year. That's about it.
Yeah. My guy went to
Um,
Vegas. You know, he saw
yeah,
the Leafs win a round.
went around.
Okay.
You know
Had a
what? Yeah, it wasn't that. You know what? It was a good
wasn't
year.
that
Yeah,
bad
dude.
of a year.
Yeah, dude.
Could have been worse. The Leafs could have not won around
Sorry,
Yeah.
again.
sorry. The bad year was 2022 for you, Dave. I'm thinking. Sorry, it's like getting
Yeah,
all
I've had.
years. Are
Listen, man, I've had a couple of them
Been some
recently where
bad
it's
news.
just like, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, shout out to Full TV. Shout out to Razor. And let's just shop that. See if you want to get your Ivan Mironishenko jersey, that's the place to go.
I was gonna say get your World 2024 jersey for the new year. NHLShop.com. Your World.
I don't think you can get them there.
What do you mean?
Can you get World
What is
Juniors
it?
jersey there?
No,
No, I
he's
was
literally
saying like the
just a
world, like
jersey.
happy birthday, world.
Like happy birthday, world.
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad. My bad.
Just stick with
Okay.
the Ivan Miroshnichenko jersey, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
let's
get
do with
that.
that. 2024 is around the corner. See you there. Bye.